For the past 15 years, in the month of December, 20 to 30 people sit across the table from me and we go through their business plan. What they did that year, good, bad, ugly, and what they're planning on doing the following year. And then I give some feedback on mindset and things they need to be working on. Today, it's not about the 20 or 30 people. Today, it's about you and I. It's you. And I'm going to share with you 7 habits that can help you dominate in 2019, but I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to be very direct with you. And what you do with it, it's completely on you. The first one is very specific to those of you that change your mind very, very often. It's a bad habit and it's costing you relationships, friendships, and success in business. Let me explain what I mean by this. No matter what business you choose to do, they're all ugly. No business is pretty. It's like a relationship. There isn't anything you're gonna do in the world of business that's gonna be all good and dandy. Nothing, not a single business. However, this is a common trend you see with a lot of people. None of us like to lose, but some people, when they lose, they respond in 3 different ways. One is freeze, they don't know what to say. The other one is they go and fight, and the last one is they flight. You know what flight is? They change their minds. I don't want to do this anymore, and they run away. You know why? Because they're afraid of commitment. Very simple. In the world of business, in real world of business, if you want to win in 2019, if you keep changing your mind, nobody is going to take you seriously. The second one is for those of you that like to win arguments with words. Let me explain to you what I mean by this. You don't understand how hard I'm working. I am the best. You don't even know what's going on. Let me explain to you what happened. I'm doing my best. I'm doing the most appointments. I'm working hard. I'm running appointments. I'm running this. The best way to win arguments is to win arguments with performance, not with words. Because when you win arguments with performance, everybody knows what you did. When you win arguments with words, it may be because you're a wordsmith, but maybe you're not a worker. To get the credibility of other people who know what it is to work in 2019, win arguments with numbers, with performance, not just words. The third one, this is one thing I never liked coming up. It was a lack of maturity on my end, and it was being accountable. And let me explain to you what I mean by accountability. I'm not talking about just accountability as in, well, go be accountable to somebody. No. There's a part about being accountable, and then there's a part about being accountable to the right person. Let me explain the difference. Anybody can be accountable to somebody that's a lower performer. Anybody can be accountable to somebody that's at the same level as you. Hey friend, hold me accountable. Well, we're not going to be that tough on ourselves. But there's a difference between you being held accountable by somebody on a weekly basis that is ahead of you, who is willing. This is the key. Not everybody's willing to deal with everybody. Who is willing to hold you accountable with your performance on a weekly basis and is not afraid of pointing out and saying, look at this part, look at that part, look at this part. As a CEO of an insurance company that's growing, we had a board meeting today. The entire conversation with the board meeting today, where we invited every single insurance carrier, was we were being held accountable nonstop the entire time. And you know what happens as you want to build a bigger business? Accountability must go higher. The fourth habit is directed to those of you that are so determined to win that you look at everybody in your life as somebody, as a piece on the chessboard. This person can help me do this, and that person can help me do this, and this person's going to help me advance to the other area. And what happens when you look at everybody like that they're disposable, there's one thing that goes away. The value of relationships goes away. I just turned 40 years old. And I can tell you one thing at 40 that's different than 30, that's different than 20 is relationships. Let me explain it maybe from a different angle. Think about it this way. Who are the 5 relationships that you currently have in your life? Business, personal life. 5 relationships that you currently have right now in your life that you cannot lose and you want to have 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. Who are those 5 relationships? Think about those names. Write them down. What are you doing to water those relationships? Very similar to watering a plant. What are you doing to watering those relationships to make sure they win just as much as you win? So 10, 20, 30 years from now, those relationships are still in your life. Because the idea of wanting to do something big in 2019 and kick off the next 5, 10, 20 years as a massive run of your life, you're not going to be able to do it with a lot of solid relationships. So in 2019, start valuing the right relationships like you never have before. The fifth one is directed to those of you that are always looking at people and saying, this person must change here, he must change here, she must change here. But there's one person you never look at, and that's yourself. So what's the solution? In 2019, make an effort to study every single one of your trends. Let me explain to you what I mean by studying your trend. The next time you're angry, get a paper and pen and write down exactly what caused you to be angry. If you're depressed, if you're agitated, if all of a sudden you're having a division with somebody you've been very good for 6, 12 months, why are you all of a sudden angry at this person? Why are you taking things out on this person? Maybe you just spoke to your ex, and maybe your ex doesn't like this person, and every time you talk to your ex, he says, well, you know how he is, you know how she is, and all of a sudden you're taking it out on this person. What happened there? Study your trends on when you get lazy. Study your trends on when you get urgent, when you work harder, when you're positive, when you're happy, when you're fired up, when all of a sudden people want to be around you. When do people not want to be around you? What causes it? 2019, study yourself the way the best hedge fund managers study stocks, and look how quickly you'll start changing many of your bad habits with good ones. The sixth one is specifically directed to all the mama's boys out there. Yes, all the mama's boys. Those are the ones that are about to turn this video off and go to a different place because your feelings got hurt and you said something like, I don't have to listen to you, Patrick. Well, you're right. You don't have to listen to me. But your 2019 can also be the same as 2018, not a good one. So if you want to have a better 2019, you may want to listen to me for 60 seconds. Let me explain to you what I mean by mama's boys. Here's what happens. Many times mama's boys do things to get unnecessary attention because they were raised by their mom to constantly get attention. Their father and them had friction. They would go to their mom and mom would say, it's okay, baby. You're amazing. I love you. You're so perfect. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. And they're constantly getting that attention, that unnecessary attention. So you may be 34 years old and you still want that kind of attention. So let's just say something doesn't go good your way on any given day. To everybody around you, you'll do whatever you can to get unnecessary attention. Let me explain to you what ends up happening eventually when you do that. People around you eventually get burned out with having to constantly give you attention that you need to be happy, and eventually they leave. You know what the solution is? 2019. Remember how I said study your trends? The next time you're about to act up to get unnecessary attention, study that trend and say, I am not doing this because every time I do this, I'm going back and being the 8-year-old that I used to be. And I'm no longer 8. I'm not 34. And last but not least, in 2019, make a decision to create a new habit. Every single time you're in any environment, whether you're the leader or you're part of a team and everyone's asking you to come through for a number, don't just do what people expect you to do. Over-deliver. Surprise everybody. If somebody tells you to do $1 million of sales in a year, do $1.3 million. If somebody is expecting you to do $100,000 in a month, do 170. Don't just hit the numbers everybody's expecting you to do. Over-deliver. At our board meeting today, I specifically told every single insurance carrier that was there, one of the reputations we wanted to build from day one is when we told you we were going to give you a certain amount of premium, we wanted to give you twice as much as that premium as you thought we were going to get. And eventually, a reputation is built. Build the reputation in 2019 of every time a number comes out of your mouth that you commit to, you're going to do even more than that. So for those of you that are seriously committed about these 7 habits, this is what I'm going to do for you. I had our graphic design team put together 2 images for you. One is a background for you to put on your phone, so every single time you pick up your phone, you can see these 7 habits to be reminded of them in 2019. And second is a square image if you want to put it on social media or to put it somewhere that you can look at if you print it around your office, again, to be reminded of it. Click on a link below to get those 2 images, the background or the one for your phone or the one as a poster. And if you are fully committed to the habits that I just covered with you, send me a tweet at Patrick Bay David and tell me, Pat, I'm committed in 2019. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.